So when I first saw this meme, I obviously laughed, but I think deep down, a part of me also cried because I was the biggest reject. I had so much rejection from pharma interviews, it wasn't funny. So let's leverage Manzoor's 20 years of experience so we can set you up for success. We want to help you guys turn interviews from daunting to delightful. Yes. And we've got Manzoor here. He's going to give you the invincibility suit for interviews. So my first question, outside of obviously knowing the job description and knowledge of your own CV, what is the best way to prepare for an interview?
Well, first, am I doing a good interview?
Yeah, you're doing an amazing interview. Yeah.
All right.
You've got the job. Finding Pharma, we've got A quick disclaimer before we start. The views expressed in this interview are solely those of myself and our guest. They do not reflect the views or official stance of our employers. Our guests have not been compensated for their participation in the interview, and any discussion is purely for educational purposes only.
One tip that I always suggest, and I practice on myself as well, I take the interview opportunity is as a network opportunity and an opportunity to shine and glow, right? Of course, if I get the job, that's a bonus. The reason I'm saying is, when you aim to just secure a job, that affects your nerve. You get nervous about it because you want to be perfect. But if you enjoy the ride, that this is a network opportunity, I get the opportunity to talk about myself, how great I am. That's how you should see.
Manzoor's tip on reframing is a game changer. Being a sports fanatic, I have loads of sporting analogies up my sleeve. So I just want to share one with you. It's an observation on how elite athletes sometimes buckle under pressure, missing a penalty kick in a World Cup or an easy free throw in a playoff game. It's not a lack of skill, but the immense pressure these athletes put on themselves, often too focused on the outcome rather than the process. The same happens in job interviews. We're often too fixated on the trophy, i.e. getting the job offer, that we lose sight of the process. What I love about what Manzoor is telling us is, imagine we approach interviews like a friendly game rather than a championship final. Imagine going into an interview with the mindset or expectation you're just there to make 2 or 3 new connections, 2 or 3 new friends, rather than having to get that job in that specific moment. It takes the pressure off. And for anyone that's played sport, you play 100 times better when you have nothing to lose. So adopt the same mentality for job interviews.
Because the reason of what I'm saying is there's many occasions where we like some certain individual at that particular role, he or she may not be successful in that position, but in later we found another position came up, and then we go back to that individual like, would you be interested to come in? And they have come and joined. So that's because they have created that impression, they demonstrated their ability, and then we remember that. So that's why my suggestion would be, whatever interview opportunity you get it, try to create that last impression that you are able to offer certain skills or abilities.
Yeah, showing your interpersonal skills.
Yes.
It sounds like playing the long game. The question around preparing for the interview, often you prepare with the aim, I have to get this role. But to your point, reframing, I'm preparing to network, and if I don't, that's okay, because it might not be this one, but the next one.
Exactly.
So that,
yes. And obviously preparing is the key, to learning about the organization, learning about the job itself. At the end of the day, yes, you are interviewing for the job, so they would expect certain answer that is related to the job. And earlier you were talking about the skills, how do you demonstrate that skills, especially competing with someone experienced and it doesn't matter what you say, it's one thing that we suggested about.
So what Manzoor is saying about storytelling is spot on. It reminded me of this really powerful quote I read, and I wanted to share it with you. It goes like this: tell me a fact and I'll learn. Tell me a truth and I will believe. But tell me a story and it will live in my heart forever. And that's the kind of impact we want to have with our storytelling and on others. You want to make a very positive, lasting impression that they're never going to forget. If you want to see me have a go at examples of storytelling in an interview, please drop a comment below.
How we communicate this storytelling, and whatever the experience you have, you maybe organize a camping session for the students, but what was your role in playing, and then you connect back to the job description, what they're looking for.
If you want to explore other ways to prepare for an interview, click here for an episode I do with Byron, which is going to help you sound smarter than 99% of the other candidates out there. It is a treasure chest full of gems. Otherwise, click here to see 4 questions you are likely going to face in your next interview.